Hello, everyone. Welcome to another BBA podcast. We have a bunch of special guests this time. We have our current reigning most valuable player, MVP, Abbas Fatakdawala. He last year won Rising Star. We have NBA champion and the Defensive Player of the Year award, Adnan Fatakdawala. And we also have Hussein Boxwala, who is one of our sponsors, and he has a company called Racebox. So first, I want to take some time to thank Hussein for his sponsorship. I think this is his second time sponsoring. So if you could tell us a little bit about Racebox and then what does the BBA sponsorship mean to you?
Sure, yeah. Thanks for having me on. Racebox is we're a performance tuning company. So what that means is we make cars go fast. So the main business I have is we do the performance tuning on cars, which is cars have an engine control module, computer, whatever you want to call it, called an ECM, ECU, or DME for German cars. And we basically get into that. We download, the software of it, modify it, send it, or you do it in-house with us, and it increases power. So we mess with things like fueling, ignition timing, boost if you have a turbocharged or supercharged car and stuff like that. So, yeah, we are. I've been doing this for 5 years. I've always been into cars, and it just worked out for me more into it. It kind of I always say it kind of fell in my lap. So I had a lot of people who helped me with it in the start. My cousin Yusuf Bhai, especially, and so very grateful to people for that. And sponsoring BBA is really just I just wanted to give back. So when I was in Houston, my buddy Mustafa Brahani, he got me into sponsoring all these things. So I started sponsoring MFL, and then Galil reached out to me for BBA as well. And so yeah, I just if I can help out, I love to do it. I think it's really nice that we have something for our community. It's like it builds relationships and friendships in the community, strengthens our bond. And it's cool to just sponsor sports. So yeah, I'm not a big team sports person myself. I stick to things I'm good at, which are not team sports. But I like to sponsor, and hopefully I'll make it out to one of the tournaments this time.
Mhm. And speaking of really fast players, both of these guys are impressive in their speed on the court. Did you have a question for them if you want to lead us off?
Well, I was wondering while we were sitting here in the Zoom waiting room, what's the age gap between you guys?
So I'm 16 years old and Adnan is
Yeah,
20.
23. Turning
23.
24.
Okay. Yeah, so that's 7 years. There are a lot of sibling dynamics that come into play. How's it like playing with your younger brother who's you probably think is a little kid?
Uh,
Yeah, so there are a lot of dynamics. I think it started off where I just grew up teaching him how to play, so it's always been like that, feeling like his coach. And like this it's this obviously a large age gap. So it's like I'm always on him, telling him what he should be doing, what he's doing wrong. And I haven't really gotten as much feedback from him usually, but I think what changed this year is I pushed him to push me as well. So, usually our dynamic has been where it's like I'm telling him what to do, but I think a big reason for our success was him also like stepping up and deciding to push me because I can't always just be right and I can't be telling him what to do. Obviously, I respect him as a player. And yeah, I've kind of been working to change that dynamic a little bit, but it is still like, hey, younger brother, don't do this, or you got to get better at this. Just what you'd expect.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking. But it's cool that you let him you take his feedback as well seriously.
Yeah, I think it's more on getting him to feel comfortable to give me that feedback because just growing up with an older brother, I don't know how it is. So, Abbas, like maybe from your perspective, what was it like playing with me? Because I know that you really wanted to play with me too.
yeah, so I've always been like wanting to play in like organized basketball with him, and since our age gap is so far, it's kind of hard to get that experience. So just having the first year like this or be our first year like playing together, it feels like just like having an on-court coach with me, but then whenever he's giving me feedback, like I don't take like the tone that he's giving it to me, and like I'll just like that I'm taking more of the message, and then obviously getting used to like telling him whenever he's struggling with things and stuff. That's been hard for me just because he's always been so much older, and giving him feedback is like, I don't know if he'll like listen to me more just because I'm younger. But I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna try to tell him what I think we should improve on together, and then just by himself. So it was a great experience just having him play with me and just giving me tips all the time.
So tell me about your growth, Abbas. So you got Rising Star, and you went far with last year, and then this year you I guess broke the scoring record. So you put up 145 points, and that beat Amir Punoswala's 2016 record of 141 points. So tell me about your growth.
Yeah, so my first year playing BBA, I was fortunate to play with like a lot of veterans. I had the both Khalil brothers, Tahir Hamid, Quresh Tayeb, Murtaza Daud Bhai, and then also Murtaza Patanwala. They're all like really, really old, and they've been playing BBA for a while. So it was just a great experience with all of them giving me great tips on how to like improve while I'm playing in BBA. And it being my first year, just learning the dynamic of how BBA is played, all the new rules. It's different from how I play in school. And then I think most of my improvement from the like jump from first year to second year, it was just playing in school basketball, playing against like these really athletic people, like all the time, playing and practicing against all my teammates. And then working on my individual skills also with Adnan. Like I was working on my shooting, just playing through contact. BBA is a physical game. A lot of them are bigger than me. Just me being an undersized guard, just because I'm luckily I have the height of like a big man in BBA, but the size is still like on the skinnier frame. So just learning how to play through contact, finish, using my height as an advantage, and then also just understanding more about how BBA is played, like what ways I can score in BBA and how that differs from like me playing in school. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, so let's talk about attacking mismatches and finding rhythm. I guess what were some of the offensive strategies that you employed? So from I guess my perspective from playing you guys, there was Adnan had a lot of the ball handling, and he was mostly driving, finding the mismatches, and trying to create and get you open, and then you would shoot like
Yeah.
an open three or triple threat, then drive and have like
Mhm.
an open shot. So is that like what you guys were planning on doing, or tell me about your offensive strategy?
Yeah. Don, you can start it off if
Yeah. Uh, so that is exactly what we were planning on doing. I think I know my biggest strength coming into the tournament is passing and then dribble penetration. So just like drive and kick. And a big reason, aside from him being my brother, that I wanted to play with him is just I know the value that he brings shooting. And if I can find him, I can count on him to knock down the shot because I feel confident about getting past my initial defender, and breaking down the defense and having an open three in the corner. So that's pretty much how we took the approach of playing most games. Was I'd bring the ball up, let me draw in some of the defense, and then kick it out to him. I didn't take many threes this year. I didn't really feel a need to. Also, my shot wasn't feeling great, but he also prefers catching the ball kind of on the perimeter. He can create his own shot, but I think that you much prefer just getting it when you're ready to shoot it. So it kind of
Mhm.
worked out with both of our play styles where, I like passing the ball, I like driving in, and I was able to do that and find him.
Yeah, and I think just the same thing. I think my weaknesses, like his strengths complement my weaknesses, and my strengths complement his weaknesses. He just like his shot wasn't feeling well before the coming into the tournament. And I knew that like him with his driving in, like I'm not much of a on ball handler, like in dribble penetration, like to kick out and stuff. I knew that he brings in a lot of attention from the defense when he drives in. So I knew that I would be open for a lot of corner kickouts. And then I also knew like if I get on the perimeter, like sometimes I can take people off like a triple threat. And those are a lot of the looks I was getting. And I knew that once I started shooting better in games, like I'll start getting guarded up tighter, and then that opens up his drive a lot too. So I think we just complement our games pretty well.
And so, well, I guess when you're driving, are you looking for him or are you trying to score? Or because I think most of your points, Adnan, were actually turnover generated fast break points that you scored on, at least in the game that we played. So I guess tell me a little bit about shot selection or like how do you make that decision whether to when you break down to pass versus to score?
Yeah. So I think just providing some more context on the entire tournament, I didn't score a lot. I had maybe 80 points. I don't remember. Uh, and just knowing that my scoring wasn't feeling great, I had kind of decided to take a bit of the back seat when it came to scoring. So I was looking more to pass because my game is kind of funneled if I can't shoot at all. Um, I was making like some mid-range floater-esque shots, but really I only made a couple of three-pointers. And you're right, a lot of the points did come off fast breaks. So aside from just the drive and kick, offensively, I was looking for him when, I mean, most teams were playing a zone, and as they were kind of just like shrinking the floor, he'd be open on the wing. So even before I attack, a lot of the looks, getting him the ball there, and just knowing that I wasn't feeling great this tournament offensively, my mindset became like, let me find him to be able to score. So it was like I'm always looking and ready to pass it to him, even if the defense thinks that I was kind of just like 100% trying to score. Which I think is a bit of a misconception is that people will see me like go in and this is not like a bailout pass that I'm making. I know that it's going to be open if I can draw the defense in. So yeah, to answer your question, I was looking for him every time.
Mhm. Um, Okay, so I guess moving on to defense. Tell me about your defensive MVP performance. How did you plan your defense? And then was there you were obviously trying to pick up the best offensive scorer.
Mhm.
So tell me about like some matches that you were looking forward to or that you picked up. Um,
Yeah. So I think my top performance of the tournament defensively had to be the game against y'all. Um, Honestly, the award was even coming into the tournament, I'd never really expected to get something like a defensive MVP. Uh, I try to play good defense, but I do also try to conserve energy. So during the during Saturday, I'm not necessarily picking up the best player. In fact, I think but we were playing a lot of zone, and I like staying in the back or the corner of the zone so I can conserve energy, just knowing how much of the offense I try to initiate. As far as matchups, I'll save talking about the matchup against you because I want to hear your thoughts on that game as well and what you guys thought coming into it. But another game was against Jose Faraja's team. So Jose Raja is a great passer. He's a bigger body too, and I knew that him getting the ball in the post was if he can get close enough. Like his fadeaway is great. He has great touch, so I just couldn't let him get there. And the approach that I took against that game was playing super physical. I wasn't even letting him get the post entry pass, so kind of pushing him out before they could get him the ball because the offense was Riz was injured. I'm not sure what game he got injured, but he was injured in the game against us, and um, I think Gadibai was doing some scoring, but it was really the offense was flowing through Jose Faraja, and it feels like that was the same case with y'all's team, where Mustanbai, the offense was really flowing through him. And when I find those types of players, because I can rely on a boss or I could rely on a boss for scoring this year, the decision that I made is I'm just going to do whatever to shut down this one person because if we shut them down offensively, the rest of the team is likely going to struggle. So yeah, that's kind of like the overall approach that I took with more specific games like Mustanbai and guarding him. There are specific things that I kind of look for and looks that I know that the player likes to get and trying to prevent them from getting that. So I mean, you guys use a lot of screens. He's good at shooting off of the screen, so kind of playing that in a certain way. But I am curious, yeah, what was y'all's halftime discussion after our game, or did you guys talk about what you would do offensively? Were you guys expecting kind of me to be guarding Muslim by the way that I was, or what was the convers what were the conversations that were had on your team?
Yeah, so I think that for offensively, we were kind of running a lot through Mustan. So there was kind of 2 points of attack. One was from Abu, and then run from Mustan. And so I think we definitely struggled whenever Mustan was being locked up. So if you looked at the two games that we lost against the Mad Useds, it was Tuza guarding Mustan and um, you guarding Mustan. And so whenever that happened, our offensive stalled, and we tried going through other people. So other people stepped up in terms of um, like the bigs. We tried running some mismatches on the bigs, and then also trying to get Kambati. And so usually like people kind of stepped up to keep it a little bit close. But I don't think we never reached a second level offensively.
Mhm.
And yeah. Um, I don't know, boss. What were you seeing on the defensive end? Who were you guarding, and what was the matchups for you like?
So a lot of our like defensive strategy, I we knew that Adnan was gonna guard Mustanbai and that like offense was gonna run around him, but we also knew Abu was a good scorer, so we ran like somewhat of a zone. But when the screens would come, we would try to hedge it so we like don't give Mustanbai any chance to like turn the corner and drive to the rim or get any type of shot. So I was kind of like anytime he'd get a screen, I would just go up, run at him, make him like give up the ball to someone else. And then I was kind of switching between like playing down low in the zone to try to get help with rebounding, but also like playing up top so I could get out in transition when Adnan was playing defense. But defensive wise, I knew Adnan was going to play really hard this game and that I had to like step up in scoring. So like I try. That's why sometimes I would like shy away from playing down low just so I could get out in transition to get some easy points. But just a non defense on him like played a huge part in like all of our scoring. We just got a lot of transition points from just his defense and steals.
Mhm.
And yeah, just to add one more thing about that, the game against y'all is, I mean, it was really hard. So I honestly think the game after, I was just like completely gassed. So I couldn't even, I don't know, I couldn't play how I wanted to against the Bulls as well because I just had expended so much energy playing against y'all. I mean, I was guarding him basically when he would cross half court. When he didn't have the ball, I was face guarding him, trying to fight through every screen. And yeah, we wanted to hedge the screens, but I didn't want to give him any space because I know how great of a shooter he was. And even coming into the tournament, we played in Houston, and he just wasn't missing. So whenever he was open, he was making every shot. And just having that in my head, I was worried, and my mindset was I'm not going to give him an inch of space. If we lose, we'll lose to anybody else on the team, but it won't be because we're giving like Musanbai shots that we know he can make consistently. So yeah, I want to stress it was hard. Y'all played really well. The screens from you and
I would lie.
Mustabai, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get through those, right? You guys are bigger bodies, and like I'm trying to
Mhm.
fight and squeeze through it. And Mustanbai also is pretty elusive, so he can kind of get through the double teams. And yeah, I mean, it was a hard game, and I mean, I was tapped out after that game too. So
Yeah. So tell me about the defensive approach against Malem's team and like the Bulls, because you faced them twice, and they gave you trouble. So if I guess what was the approach going for those in that game? Is it just like Sunday game you were tired, but what about Saturday game? What was the on Saturday? What was the approach?
So overall, I think that team was really good. They had a lot of good players. They had a lot of good chemistry, and both games that we played against them, they just looked like the better team out there. Um, but the first time we played against them, I didn't play that game. They had played for a little bit, just like maybe the minute minimum, but I was cramping the game before. So Saturday, the game was just all a boss. I didn't play that game. And still, regardless, they looked a lot better. Sunday, it was, yes, we were gassed, but that's no excuse. They were just in better shape because I know that. I mean, Amar Danish, Malum were guarding full court. They were face guarding a boss on Saturday, and those guys like just have an insane level of conditioning. So like completely props to them, and I don't think it's any excuse because it's like my conditioning could have been better, or a boss's conditioning could have been better, and that would have prevented us from like being able to say that we were gassed, right? So that's one thing, and the second point is just the approach going into these teams was more after the game on Saturday. We knew that they were a smart team and they knew how to play us really well. So what they were doing against the boss was they were just crowding a boss and not letting him touch the ball. And as soon as he touched it, getting him to put it on the ground. And like Amar was using his athleticism and like size or frame advantage in order to like get steals on ball. Similarly, in this game on Sunday, Malum started guarding full court. He was forcing me hard to my left side. Um, and also, they had shrunk the floor where when I talked to Malum after, because we played in MFL together, he had basically said that they were just guarding us two and they were leaving the rest of our team open to shoot. Where actually Hamza Izzi, he played an amazing game. He stepped up in order to make some shots. But when the floor is shrunk like that and they've kind of put so much emphasis on us too, it's on me to be able to create better and also to shoot better because they were backed up a little bit. So our approach was really just trying to figure out how we can like navigate how they were playing us because we knew that that was the biggest issue. It wasn't necessarily like how are we going to stop them on offense because most of their points came from transition and came from forced turnovers. So it really was, can we figure them out and what can we do against the way that they were playing us?
And to add on, like, I think their rotations, just like substitutions wise, like, is just really good. Just because, defensive wise, like all of the guards on the team can play full court pressure properly, have good IQ, like they anticipate well. So even when most of the time I had Danish guarding me full court, but then as soon as he would get subbed out, like Malum would come full court, or like any of the other guards would come to guard me. And I just think like them having that rotation, they had a lot of team chemistry also. They're communicating a lot. Like no matter how fast you pass it, like their whole team is rotating as like a unit. It's just like really hard to play against teams like that are so connected. So I think them just having that ability to play defense well, like even if they don't, if they're not scoring as much, like which they did though, if they're not scoring as much, like their defense just makes up for it, just like not letting other teams score.
Hmm. Let's see. So, what are some things that you guys want to improve on for next year?
Um, like I mean, I don't know if both of us will be on the same team again next year. Um, but if we were, I think just like I think if his shot was a little bit better, it would have helped us a lot more. Just because I know he can hit those 3-point shots and stuff in his mid range, but he was just not able to get to them. Also, I think his injuries played like a big factor. In like I just had more of like a scoring role to for me just because of him cramping and all of his other injuries. But I think I also could work on just as a team, like being more of a leader for the team. Like Adnan was a great leader. I tried to fit into that role because he had told me like try to lead the team and help him. But I think just me being put into like a bigger role, like that got to my head more, and like thinking about leading a team is like a whole different level that like I strive to get to. I hope I can like start leading a team like as well as he does. Um, and then yeah, I guess just picking up a team and just like having building team chemistry. I would want to get better at.
And for me, a lot of things that I want to improve on next year. I mean, there's like an entire list. I actually keep like a list in my notes for things that I want to work on, be conscious of. So I won't get into specifics because I don't want to tell everyone like what I'm not good at. But um, conditioning, I think I do have good conditioning, but I mean, to get to a level of like the Malum and Amar, um, I mean, that's something that would just elevate my game to another level where I wouldn't have to feel like maybe I need to take the back seat on defense some games so I can have enough energy for offense because like I know if I put in 100% effort, I can play great defense, but a large part of being able to do that on a consistent basis is can you put in effort all the time? So conditioning, shooting, obviously, I didn't shoot well this tournament. I think the tournament before I was shooting well. So a lot of it is a mental part where it's like, should I shoot like this or changing my form slightly? So maybe sticking to something and just deciding like this is going to be how I shoot and just like getting the reps up and working on it. And then lastly, the biggest other thing I would want to work on is just um honestly like left hand. I think I still can score with my left hand, but just that last game being forced to go left and then turning the ball over a couple of times. Oh, and yeah, actually, that's a better point. Is the turnovers. So this year was really bad in terms of turnovers for me. Um, a lot of times, I think because I'm looking to pass first, I'll pass out of open shots, and especially that happens on the left side, right? Because if I'm going left, it's like I'm not as comfortable scoring on the left side, so let me just pass, and then those passes will turn into turnovers because I'm just forcing something. So yeah, turnovers, conditioning, and then shooting are the three biggest things that I'm going to work on before next BBA.
That sounds like everything, but
Hey, I mean,
um,
there's always something to work on.
yeah, yeah.
I will never
But
put
but
myself past
speaking
working on something.
speaking to that, right? Like you're saying that you didn't, like score a lot, right? You scored 80 points, right? I did not score a lot. I scored 13 points. But my role for this team, for my team, was not to put up points, right? I think my mistake, is actually not advocating to get myself more involved in the offense. Because there's a point where Abbas was guarding me, right? If Abbas is guarding me, I should get the ball and take Abbas because I'm way bigger than him, right? And I should be able to dominate him inside. But where our offense is my 2-pointer against the boss better than a Mustang 3? That was kind of like the game. So it kind of depends on the team that you have, right? You you had your personnel and your team, so you had morphed your game that way. Next year it's going to be a different personnel, right? So you also have to morph your game into, whatever the team needs, right? So that's also part of it. And like figuring out what exactly the team needs is kind of also part of the game.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So,
And I think
but
that like to on your point, I think that is one of my strengths is just being adaptable. So it's like I can take a scoring role. I can also not and be more of a passer. I can lean in on the defensive side. And shout out Jose Faraja. I think he had actually guessed that I may win the defensive MVP on one of the podcast episodes. So I had no idea. I wasn't even thinking about that, but it seems like he kind of knew that I could play defense. So I think yeah, part of that is being adaptable. Do you even have the ability to fit different needs of your team? Because if you don't and you're one dimensional, then even if your team doesn't need scoring, let's say, but you are only a scorer, then you can't really fit those roles. So
yeah. Um, and then I guess the last thing is do you are you guys what are your where are you hoping it to be for next year?
I mean, I want to play with a boss again. So that's my biggest thing. A boss. I mean, what else do you have?
I mean, yeah, like if I could pick, like, yeah, I would want to play with him again and just think with how the tiers or whatever might go. Like if
Hey,
I
don't
stay
don't put that
platinum,
out there. Don't put that out there. You just
yeah,
you're like
yeah, I
yeah,
don't.
like let's keep the tiers the same. Maybe move me down a tier or something. But
Yeah, yeah. Maybe he
um,
goes platinum, I go diamond, or I can stay platinum.
yeah.
I'm fine with staying platinum. Uh,
Yeah.
just whatever that we can do to play together. But if we don't, I'm excited to see how he'll play with like a different team. Um, just like how he fits into a different role again, like maybe having to score again more. And then me also like if I don't get to play with him, like just improving on all of the aspects of the game, like not just scoring. Like I think I can be a good rebounder. I think I can play good defense. Um, I think like what's it called? The attention towards me, like I can help create for others. Like so, just learning those things. If I don't get to play with him, like see how well I can do in like a different role.
And I mean, I'm not satisfied. Like I mean, we won
Mhm.
the individual awards, but we didn't win the tournament. I would have rather not won any individual awards and won the tournament. I honestly would rather probably be on the bench and win the tournament because just winning is easily the most important thing to me. So I'm gonna make sure that we get another opportunity to play together, like regardless if it's the tiers or something, like whatever it is. Like we need to play together and win because I know that we can. Felt like we got close. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I can't finish BBA without playing with you and winning a tournament. So
yeah, for sure. I need to we need to win one together. Uh,
Um, other than your brother, who is one or two people that you most want to play with?
mm, Adnan, do you have an answer? I have to think
you
about
go first because I think I have to think as well. There are a lot of people this year, especially. I think I was. I don't know how to explain, but I was watching more of the games. So
Yeah.
last year it was kind of like I was focused on my game. So I saw a lot of the players, and it was like, wow, I didn't know these players were this good because I just wasn't paying attention last year. So there are a
Mhm.
lot of people that I want to play with. I think I want to play with someone who I can do the pick and roll with. Because outside of BBA, the main way, I mean, a lot of people see me as kind of like an ISO scorer because that's what I do in BBA, is just take people one on one. But when I play outside of BBA, like I play a pick and roll offense. So I want to play with a big man who can set good screens, but who can also roll and has good touch. Because that's the most comfortable type of offense that I play. And then I guess who would, oh, I think Tahir Hassan Ali, uh the older Tahir Hassan Ali, he has great IQ. Played with him in the City versus City, but
Mhm.
I think I was a bit of a different player than to but I mean he's great. Other big man, Dawood Bai. I played with Qasim. That was a fun experience. So I mean, yeah, I like the pick and roll. Didn't get to do as much of it this year, so I want to play with another big man, and then maybe also one more is another like Ali Asgar, so another guard who can drive and kick because I also like playing off ball, and I think I end up taking like more of an on ball role. But if I play with someone like Ali Asgar and I know that he can like consistently drive and kick, and then I can attack closeouts and I can also cut to the basket, that's a different type of role that I think I'd enjoy playing. So yeah, I'd probably say Ali Asgar one, who I haven't played with, and then maybe Murtaza Daoud Bhai. It's like the
Mhm.
second.
Um, I think like the first one for me, if I could play with Hustler, I think he's like a really high IQ big.
I
Yeah,
forgot
don't
about Hustler.
realize
Oh
you
my
forgot
God, I forgot about
about
Hustler.
Hustler.
Hustler is my,
Um,
yeah, for sure. That's a
yeah,
great answer.
he's super high IQ. Like he sets really good screens. Um, like you can count on him for off ball screens, like anything. He's good at setting up offense. He has a lot of attraction towards him, like in the paint. I think that would get me open. And then like if I could play with like another guard, um, I think maybe like Mustansir Abbas. Like I think he's also a really good passer. when he needs to be, and his scoring could also like I think we could just complement well just with him scoring.
Yeah.
I could set a pick
He
and
has
roll.
to play again though. So he must not
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
was saying he
Saying he
might
was good.
retire. So I mean, if he hears this, like you got to play another year. I was
Yeah,
already
yeah.
texting him after the tournament too, like, hey, like you just keep playing. I mean, he's still one of the best players. I know that he might feel based on when I was talking, he might feel like he's gotten, you know, he's not as good as he used to be, but even still, he's one of the best players. So yeah, I think I would. That's an exciting two to watch. You and Musanbai play together. So yeah, you gave a great answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heidi, what about you? You played with a lot of people.
Me, I'll keep that close to my chest. I'm not gonna blast that out.
No, I
Um,
mean like who are two players that you would want to play with?
yeah. Both of you guys.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, we played together. I guess you've never played
Not
with
in the
my
main
brother,
tournament.
but yeah,
He's
Yeah.
trying to
yeah.
keep it for the draft. He's gonna ask them during the draft.
He probably has someone in his head where he's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy
He
is just
doesn't
gonna
want to let
come
people
in
know.
and." But yeah, I have a lot of sleepers too. So yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
stay silent until the draft is done, and then oh man, I'm already excited about next year.
Yeah, there's so many good players. It's hard to just like say that you want to play with just two. Like, I think I would be happy with playing like with any of the top players, like any other players that are role players too. Like, oh, like a lot. There's a lot of good people in BBA that can
Like
help.
Murtaza Shabir, dude, he played
Oh yeah,
amazing, bro. He played amazing, like against us in that semifinals game. Like that's another player I'd want to play with. I mean, there's so many people. I just kind of went for some of the top guys, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the draft because the talent is just seems like it keeps getting better, because it is, and that just makes it way more fun. The drafting process more fun, so really excited.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you guys next year. I mean, we'll definitely
yeah,
see you guys next year, but
yeah. Thank
yeah,
you for
looking
Thanks
having
for
forward
me.
to,
having us.
yeah. Uh, Okay, let me